You were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short.
All right, guys, welcome back to another little video. We've been gone for a little while, as you probably have noticed. I actually got really sick, so that's why I just haven't been making any videos lately for about the past almost 2 weeks, actually. But coming back at you tonight with a new little video. Today we're actually going to take a look at this article that was announced a couple of days ago. Excuse me from if I cough, getting over being sick. Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy is officially dead, which is very interesting. Just because we'd all thought that, hey, I guess Rian's going to be doing another Star Wars trilogy, evidently. Who knows what that's going to look like? Was it going to be the Rey movie coming out in a few years? I thought that was slated for like 2026, 2027. Is it going to get pushed back? We don't really know. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a deep dive into today's little article of Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy. Nearly a decade after it was first announced, Rian Johnson's long-in-development Star Wars trilogy has been I didn't say prematurely, I'm so sorry. Permanently grounded. The director confirmed that his plans were effectively dead during a new interview with The Hollywood Reporter, in which he addressed his desire to still work within a galaxy far, far away after helming the massively divisive Star Wars The Last Jedi in 2017. It ends what has been a winding saga filled with delays and speculation as he turned his attention towards completing his Knives Out trilogy at Netflix. However, he wanted to emphasize that while he never got to create the intergalactic stories he wanted, he's not really ready to shut the door on the franchise for good. That's very unfortunate because I'm very much of the opinion and very much of the mindset that Disney should not in any way, shape, or form really be associated with Rian Johnson, right? The Last Jedi, that was sort of a catalyst for not only the divisiveness of the current Star Wars fandom, but there was a lot of things, so many things went wrong with both The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker that could have been, improved upon, yet it's just, especially The Last Jedi, it's almost as if, sometimes I wonder, did they really try, right? Moving on, let's see what this says. A part of my brain will always be in Star Wars. I hope he gets part of his brain out of, part of that brain out of Star Wars. He said in an interview, "It's so much fun a part of me." In a way, I think Johnson has been vocal about his deep passion for the franchise and desire to create something new within that universe. Even if it's lone film with a sense of humor that rubs some fans the wrong way in a continuous approach to Luke Skywalker, it had nothing to do with the sense of humor. It had everything to do with the writing. Mark Hamill said it best, there's a clip, and maybe I'll insert it here, where he says, "I fundamentally disagree with everything, they've done with my character." And he says that for a reason, right?
When I read 8, I told Ryan, I fundamentally disagree with virtually everything you've decided about my character. But, other than that, I can't really describe more, but it was as shocking to me.
I think he says it because while Mark Hamill, while he's a very great actor, he's not my favorite actor, but he's a very good actor. While he's not the best actor in the world, he certainly knows his character, Luke Skywalker, very, very well, inside and out. And I think he said it best when he said that. Wasn't exactly what audience were looking for. Back in May, he said he'd be the happiest person if he ever got to direct another Star Wars movie, though he had admitted that his desire to build a new franchise, namely Knives Out, ultimately kept that from happening. Now, that's what something I never understood after seeing Knives Out originally back in like 2019, 2020, or whenever it came out. I watched it when it was actually first hit streaming services. Um, it's actually a really great film, and it's just boggles my mind because I'm like, I really like that movie, and I like what Rian Johnson has done with the Knives Out films and series and everything. Sort of like a murder mystery. It's great. I thought it was a great movie. What I don't understand is how can he go from writing that, but he can't write or direct a decent Star Wars film? I just don't get it. And I think that, I theorize that there are some people out there who, their mind is great for, like a murder mystery thriller comedy. I thought the comedy in Knives Out was great. Maybe he was trying to put that in Star Wars, and that just doesn't belong there. Star Wars can have a certain level of comedy, but it's not like Knives Out comedy, right? Ultimately, he kept him from happening because he's busy with Knives Out. That still worked out well for him in the end, earning a lucrative deal on Netflix to create 2 new Benoit Blanc. I'm not quite sure. 2 new mysteries that had been showered with critical acclaim. And Daniel Craig in those movies are awesome, by the way. So if you haven't gone and seen them, go watch them. They're pretty great. Johnson will... Excuse me, guys. Johnson will always divide Star Wars fans, though his trilogy has the potential to bring something fresh to the franchise. Following characters have never been seen before in an entirely new setting within the same universe. For what it's worth, the director also maintained a positive relationship with Lucasfilm throughout the process, which could mean a return sometime down the road. His plans were, however, in the chaotic shuffle with no shortage of other future projects ordered after the advent of 2019's The Rise of Skywalker are in various stages of fizzling out, coming to fruition, like Sean Levy's upcoming, the Starfighter with Ryan Gosling, Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah. Okay. What's next for Rian Johnson? Johnson isn't exactly wanting to work despite the death of his Star Wars trilogy. What? The 3rd film in his Knives Out series, Wake Up Dead Man, releases in theaters next week, November 26th. Oh, I didn't know that. Arrives on Netflix very, very soon, December 12th. Complete with another star-studded ensemble around Craig, glittering 95% score from... the older I get, the more I realize you can't really just trust Rotten Tomatoes face value in terms of critic or audience scores. I do not trust a film buff like me. I just don't. I don't put a lot of faith into Rotten Tomatoes. So when people hit me up with go check the score, the critic score, or the audience score from Rotten Tomatoes based on this film, that film, whatever, I just don't think. I just don't think Rotten Tomatoes is a reliable source of film scoring. Although he's complete with the murder mystery trilogy for now, Johnson is keen on potentially making more stories with blank down the line if demand is still there. For now, his next focus is a new paranoid thriller. I like paranoid thrillers that may harken back to his high-concept sci-fi original projects like Looper. Looper, I thought, was pretty cool. Did he direct Looper? If he did, I had no idea. There's also a matter of Poker Face, which was canceled after season 2 on Peacock and is now being shopped around with the intent of introducing a new Charlie Cale. Take the lie detecting lead from Natasha Lyonne. I don't really know what that last sentence is meant to mean. Do I think Rian Johnson, at the end of the day, is a great director and producer and writer? Yes. Do I think that, does that mean he's made for Star Wars projects? No. I think he's a great writer, director, filmmaker, producer, what have you. But when it comes to Star Wars, I don't think he's really great. I just don't think that's his area, his expertise. right? But ultimately, this is gonna sound terrible, but I'm happy that it's canceled. It's just one of those things. It's been 6 years since the last Star Wars film, almost to date. 6 years. If you put that into, like, you count up the number of days, that's almost 2,000 days, or over 2,000 days. I'd have to do the math and look, but that's a long time. So much has changed in that amount of time. In the last 6 years, COVID not only started, but also completed itself. I won't get into that, but like, so much the point being, so much has happened in the past 6 years alone that if they were going to do a trilogy by now, they would have done it. They would have released the first film, I'd say either this, excuse me, this year or next year. But I think that what Disney needs to do, and it sounds like they're maybe starting to make some of the right plays and right calls, I hope. But again, I'm not going to put all of my eggs into the mouse house. No more Rian Johnson trilogy, Patty Jenkins film, gone. Gone actually quite a while ago. No second Rogue One. We don't need that. Just make good Star Wars product, and the people will come, right? The masses will, you build it, they will come. But I just hope that, moving forward, that Disney is able to sort of pull their head out of their ass, essentially, and make good Star Wars quality films. Look to the prequel trilogy. Look to the original trilogy. In my opinion, those are good quality films. And all they need to do is sort of just replicate those formulas. Anyway, guys, enough with me babbling on. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for tuning in for today's transmission. Again, we'll catch you in the next video. And don't forget to take it easy. Peace.